I enjoyed playing Breath of the Wild. However, in terms of story, I found that there wasn't too much for me to go on. See, this game, it's very free and open, so in order for them to accomplish that, they couldn't put in all of these story events because that would make it too linear. They want to make it explorable and sandboxy, which is something that games tend to do these days. And that tends to kind of go uh, at the expense of the story experience. But I've watched another video recently by the McIntyre channel which made something click, so I'm going to explain these new ideas and tell you what I think the message we can take away from this story is. The main pattern in this story that I've come to abstract from it is something akin to, say, the story of Horus and Osiris, where the hero, that's Link, redeems the fallen kingdom, or Hyrule, from its state of corruption and tyranny. It's the tyranny of Seth, which is Ganon. And this formula, the hero going down underground to redeem his father from the underworld, is played out in this prophecy you see at the beginning of the game, where the Hylians have to go underground to find the thing that will defeat Calamity Ganon. It doesn't play out completely, and the emphasis is really placed on the liability of developed culture to entropy and the novelizing power of the individual on the other hand, without doing much to expose to us the merits of structure. The king of Hyrule is depicted somewhat like a blind old man who dies with regret.
I have no right to ask this of you, Link. But I am powerless here.
And likewise the champions of old were all slain. Combine that with a romantic primitive civilization cozily enveloped by nature and a lot of monsters, but that never seems to be a problem, and you have your typical romantic story. Yet Link and Zelda, the young redeemers of this fallen culture, were themselves defeated by Ganon first as well, which is a helpful bit of nuance. It's not like the new Star Wars movie where the heroes of old step aside to make room for Mary Sue and her ragtag band of university kids. It's suggested that it's not only the elders who fail, but that our own worth as their successors too is hard-earned. However, the game does see man-made structure for what it is in a very profound sense. This ancient technology is unearthed, lifted up from the dust like the minerals they are made of. We find these dead husks, these garments of skin, so to speak, a legacy of the past which can offer protection, though it is poorly understood. Likewise, culture is a historical product, a complex artificial body or corpse, if you will, that must be inherited and inhabited. These things offer protection from the harshness of the outer world and nature, but they are only earth themselves, and they lack a transcendent value. They're expedient. And if such things had absolute value in themselves, then they would be uncorruptible. If we understood our own culture, or history for that matter, perfectly, it would surely be perfectly maintained. The Hylians in this respect fared little better than we have. These Sheikah masterpieces were elementary in stopping Ganon once, but no useful tool stays that way forever. Ganon, the very incarnation of evil, figured out a way to control the Guardians. These machines, these mechanical bodies, are autonomous but not sentient. They are like animals. They are like animals in the sense that they do not receive all of these text messages, and that they behave without deciding, which only conscious beings can do. Therefore, they can be gripped by evil desires in the way that our profane passions may grip our own bodies. The very things that had sustained Hyrule's wealth and power suddenly became their undoing. Likewise, in Ocarina of Time, Ganondorf is able to fool the king easily. We are taught not to put all of our faith in dead giants and dusty blueprints, because tall towers crash all the louder. And we too are complicit in this. Zelda, wise and humble, laments her own failures most of all, and endures a stay in hell for a chance to redeem her kingdom. Link, meanwhile, takes upon himself the responsibility of all the champions. He attends to all the accumulated failure and potential of the past, and thereby revivifies it, turning it useful once again. He may partake in the inherited powers of Hyrule's greatest heroes. Good preparation makes up half of the work, and as such we have to frame our devotion towards a righteous world within a coherent system to some extent. When past and present are synthesized, when structure and novelty are equilibrated, the individual may actualize himself in the world optimally. Only then can the curse of demise be driven back. Or you could mosey over to Hyrule Castle and whap Crenando with a Boko bat. Just do whatever fulfills you. That's what this game is all about. I don't want this to be my formal analysis video of Breath of the Wild, but this is... I don't expect to have much more to offer than this, honestly. I mean, I did the Terry Town video, now I'm doing this video. I guess all that's left to do now is release part 3. I'm having an editor on board who's kindly helping me out with that on his own volition. So that's good. So that's something to look forward to. Have a nice week.